Welcome back to another episode of the Everyday English Podcast. I am your host, Sarah, and I am so happy you are joining us today for a deep dive into real-life English conversation. Today, we have a very practical and honestly a slightly stressful topic for many people. But before we get into it, let me introduce my co-host. Hi, Mark. How are you doing today?
Hi, Sarah. I am doing great, thanks, and hello to everyone listening. I am excited about today's topic because, well, you said it is stressful, and I think I know why. Are we going back to the supermarket?
Yes, we are, Mark. In our last episode, we talked about the happy path. You go to the store, you find your apples, you pay, and you leave. Everything is perfect. But Mark, does life always work that perfectly?
Definitely not. In fact, just last week I went to the grocery store. I bought a carton of milk, and when I got home, I realized the carton was leaking. There was milk everywhere.
Oh no, that is terrible. And that is exactly what we are talking about today. What happens when things go wrong? You bought it, you paid for it, but now you have a problem. Maybe the price was wrong on the receipt. Maybe the fruit is rotten inside. Or, like Mark, your milk is leaking.
Exactly. And the problem is, Sarah, when this happens in my own language, I know exactly what to say. I can be polite or I can be firm, but in English, I just freeze. I feel like if I complain, I am going to sound rude. I do not want to be the angry customer shouting at the poor cashier.
That is a very common fear, Mark. Many English learners simply throw the item away or lose money because they are too afraid to go to the customer service desk. They worry that they will use the wrong words and start a fight. So, today, we are going to fix that. We are going to teach you the art of the polite complaint. We will learn the specific grammar softeners that make you sound calm and professional, the vocabulary for common errors, and we will role-play the entire conversation so you can practice with us.
That sounds incredibly useful. I really want to learn these softeners you mentioned. I think the biggest mistake I make is being too direct.
You are right, Mark. Directness is often the enemy in English customer service. So, if you are ready to stop losing money and start solving problems like a native speaker, make sure you are subscribed to our podcast. We bring you these practical lessons every single week to help you live your life in English.
Okay, Sarah, let's start with the mindset. Imagine I am at the service desk. I am holding my receipt. I am annoyed. I want to say, "You made a mistake. Give me my money." Is that okay?
Oh, Mark, please do not say that. If you say you made a mistake, you are attacking the person. You are blaming them directly. And when you say, "Give me my money," you are giving a command. In English, when we are frustrated, we actually try to become more polite, not less. We use what we call softeners.
Softeners, okay. Can you give me an example of a softener?
Sure. Instead of saying, "You made a mistake," a native speaker would often say, "I think there might be a mistake."
I see. You added I think and might.
Exactly. "I think" takes the pressure off. It makes it your opinion rather than a harsh fact. And "might" suggests possibility rather than certainty. It gives the cashier a chance to save face. It sounds much less aggressive. "I think there might be a mistake."
I think there might be a mistake. Okay, I can hear the difference. It sounds much calmer. What is another one?
This next one is my favorite magic phrase for any difficult situation. It is, "I was wondering if."
I was wondering if. Wait, Sarah, wondering? That sounds like I am thinking about a dream or something. And why is it in the past tense, was wondering?
That is a great question, Mark. In English grammar, when we want to be ultra polite, we often use the past continuous tense, "I was wondering." It creates a feeling of distance, like you started thinking about this a moment ago, and you are not demanding it right now. It is much softer than saying, "I want."
So instead of saying, I want a refund, I could say, I was wondering if I could get a refund?
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. That phrase, "I was wondering if," immediately changes the tone of the conversation. The person behind the desk stops being defensive and starts wanting to help you. It signals that you are a reasonable, nice person.
Okay, I am writing that down. I was wondering if. And I suppose I can use that for asking for help too. Like, I was wondering if you could help me.
Yes, exactly. It works for almost any request. So, we have our mindset now. We are not going to attack, we are going to be soft and polite. But Mark, to fix a problem, we need to explain what the problem actually is. We need specific vocabulary.
Right, because saying, this is bad is not very helpful. Let's talk about the receipt first. I check my receipts carefully because I am on a budget. What do we call it when the price on the shelf was $2, but the receipt says $3?
That is a very annoying situation. We call that being overcharged. To be overcharged, it means they charged you over the correct amount. You can say, "Excuse me, I think I was overcharged for these apples." Overcharged. Okay, that is a good one. What about when the cashier makes a mistake and scans the same item 2 times? I only bought 1 bottle of shampoo, but the receipt shows 2.
That happens all the time. The machine goes beep beep very fast. We call that being double scanned. You can say, I think this item was double scanned.
Double scanned. That is easy to remember. Overcharged and double scanned. These are problems with the money. But what about problems with the physical product, like my leaking milk?
For your milk mark, we would describe that as damaged. The packaging is broken. But let's say you bought a box of strawberries, and when you looked closely at home, they were fuzzy and green with mold.
Yuck, I hate when that happens.
Me too. We don't just say they are bad. The specific word is rotten. R-O-T-T-E-N. The fruit is rotten. However, if you bought a packaged food, like yogurt or cheese, and you see that the date on the package has already passed, we call that expired.
Expired, like the expiration date? So I can say, "Excuse me, I just bought this yogurt, but I noticed it is expired."
Exactly. And one more key word for our electronics or non-food listeners: if you buy a toaster or a hairdryer and it simply does not work when you turn it on, we call that defective.
Defective. Okay, so food is rotten or expired, machines are defective, and errors on the receipt mean I was overcharged or double scanned.
You have got it. Now, Mark, I think we have the grammar softeners and we have the vocabulary. I think it is time to put this into practice. Shall we do a role play?
Let's do it. I am feeling nervous, but I am ready.
Don't be nervous. We are going to simulate a visit to the customer service desk. I will be the employee at the desk. You are the customer. You bought a bag of oranges, but when you got to your car, you realized you were charged for organic oranges, which are much more expensive, but you only bought regular oranges.
Okay, so I was overcharged.
Exactly. You were overcharged. Remember your softeners. Try to be polite. Are you ready?
I am ready. Here we go.
Next in line, please.
Hi there, how can I help you today? Hi, I just bought these groceries a few minutes ago, but I was checking my receipt and I think there might be a mistake.
Oh, really? I am sorry to hear that. What seems to be the problem?
Well, I noticed that I was charged for organic oranges, but if you look at the bag, these are just the regular ones. I think I was overcharged by about $3.
Let me take a look. Ah, yes, I see the sticker here. You are right. The code was entered incorrectly. I apologize for that.
That is quite all right. I was wondering if I could get a refund for the difference?
Absolutely. I can process that for you right now. Do you have the card you paid with?
Yes, here it is.
Great. I have refunded the $3 back to your card. It should show up in 3 to 5 business days.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your help.
You are welcome. Have a good day.
Wow, Sarah, that felt easy. I did not feel like I was fighting.
That was excellent, Mark. You sounded completely natural and very professional. Let's break down what you did right for our listeners. First, you started with a greeting. You said, hi. You didn't just walk up and start complaining.
Right. It is important to treat the worker like a human being.
Exactly. Then you used the magic phrase perfectly. You said, I think there might be a mistake. You didn't blame me, you blamed the abstract situation. Then you explained the problem clearly, using the vocabulary. You said, I noticed I was charged for organic oranges.
I used the passive voice there, right? I was charged. I didn't say you charged me.
Yes. Listeners, did you catch that? Mark is an advanced student today. He said, I was charged. This is another form of softener. By removing the person, you, from the sentence, it removes the blame. It is just a fact that happened. I was charged.
It feels much safer to speak that way. And then at the end, I used your favorite phrase. I said, I was wondering if I could get a refund.
And that brings us to the next important section, Mark, the solution. You asked for a refund, but there are actually a few different ways to get your value back in English, and it is important to know the difference so you can ask for exactly what you want.
That is true. Sometimes I don't want the money back, I just want the product.
Right. So let's define these three terms: refund, exchange, and store credit. A refund is what you asked for in the role play. You want your money back.
And usually it goes back to the original payment method, right? If I paid cash, I get cash. If I paid by credit card, it goes back to the card.
Correct. That is why I asked you, do you have the card you paid with? Now, sometimes you don't want the money. Let's go back to your leaking milk example. You need milk. You don't just want the $2 back, you want a carton of milk that isn't leaking. In that case, you ask for an exchange.
An exchange. So I can say, I was wondering if I could exchange this for a new one?
Exactly. To exchange X for Y. That is the preposition we use. I want to exchange this shirt for a larger size. I want to exchange this milk for a fresh one.
Okay, exchange is swap. What was the third one? Store credit? Yes, store credit. Sometimes a store has a policy where they cannot give you a cash refund. Maybe you lost your receipt. Maybe it has been more than 30 days. In this case, they might offer you store credit. This means they give you the money, but it is on a gift card or a voucher that you can only spend in that specific store.
Ah, I see. So I cannot take the money and go to a restaurant. I have to spend it there.
Exactly. It is a compromise. So if you are at the desk and they say, we cannot give you a refund, you might ask, can I get store credit instead? It is a great backup phrase to have.
That is really good to know. I think knowing these options makes me feel more in control. I am not just hoping they help me, I know what to propose.
That is the goal, Mark. Fluency isn't just about knowing words. It is about having control over the situation. When you know the script, you stop panicking.
Sarah, I have a question about body language or tone. In my culture, if I am unhappy, I should show that I am unhappy. I should look serious. Is that the same in English-speaking countries like the US or the UK?
That is a fascinating cultural difference. Generally, in the US or UK, if you look very angry or aggressive, the staff might actually shut down. They might become less helpful because they feel threatened. The best strategy is what we call kill them with kindness.
Kill them with kindness. That sounds violent.
It just means being so nice, so polite, and so patient that the other person feels they must help you because you are such a lovely customer. You smile, you say please, you use your softeners. It is a manipulation tactic, really, but a positive one. You make them want to be the hero who saves your day.
Ah, I like that. Be the customer they talk about at lunch because you were so nice, not because you were shouting.
Exactly. You wouldn't believe this guy, Mark. He had leaking milk all over his shoes, but he was still so polite. That is the reputation you want.
Okay, I think I am ready to try this. But Sarah, what if I simply cannot find the receipt? Is all hope lost?
Not always. This is where your English skills really get tested. You can still go to the desk. You can say, I am so sorry, I seem to have lost my receipt, but I bought this yesterday and it is defective. I was wondering if I could get an exchange.
So I apologize first.
Yes, admitting the problem, I lost the receipt, helps. It shows you know the rules, but you are asking for an exception. Many stores can actually look up your receipt if you paid with a card. So you can ask, is there any way you can look up the transaction on my card?
Is there any way? That is another nice softener phrase.
It is. It frames the request as a possibility, not a demand. Mark, do you feel more ready to handle a supermarket disaster now?
I really do. I feel like I have a script in my head. I have the softeners, I think there might be a mistake, and I was wondering if. I have the vocab, overcharged, double scanned, expired, defective. And I know to ask for a refund or exchange.
And remember the tone. Keep it light, keep it polite. Now, listeners, we want to see if you can use these softeners. We have a little challenge for you today.
Yes, homework time, but easy homework.
I want you to imagine you just bought a box of eggs, and when you got home, 3 of them were broken. You are at the customer service desk. I want you to write exactly what you would say to start the conversation. Do not just say, "My eggs are broken." Use the softeners we learned today.
Write your sentence in the comments section below. We read every single one, and we love seeing how you apply these lessons.
And if you found this roleplay helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the Everyday English podcast. We are building a library of these real-life survival guides. We have episodes on the doctor's office, the bank, the job interview, everything you need to navigate life in English.
By subscribing, you are not just learning words, you are building the confidence to handle any situation life throws at you. Mark, thank you for being my customer today. I hope you enjoy your free organic oranges.
Thanks, Sarah. I think I will go make some orange juice.
Sounds delicious. Thank you all for listening. Keep practicing, keep shadowing these phrases, and remember, mistakes happen, but how you handle them shows your true fluency. We will see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Wait, Sarah, before we go, can I ask one more quick thing?
Sure, Mark. What is it?
What happens if the person says no? You know, I use my softeners, I smile, I say I was wondering, and the clerk just says, "No, sorry, policy." Do I just walk away?
That is a tough one. If you have tried being polite and they still say no, you have one more level of escalation, but you have to be careful. You can use the phrase, "I understand. Is there a manager I could speak to briefly?"
Ooh, the manager card.
Yes, but notice the phrasing. "I understand." You validate them first. Then, "Is there a manager I could speak to?" Asking for permission. You are not saying, "Get me your boss." You are escalating politely.
Okay, so validation first. I understand you're just doing your job, but is there a manager?
Perfect. That protects the clerk's feelings while still fighting for your refund. But honestly, Mark, 90% of the time, the soft opener we taught today will work before you ever need a manager.
That is good to hear. Okay, now I am really done. Thanks, Sarah.
You are welcome, Mark. See you next time, everyone. Happy shopping!